So what exactly is an expander? An expander is one of those people that you meet and they empower you to start recognizing the aspects of ourselves that we've yet to integrate, and they're inviting us to grow into them. So basically, these people that seem so inspirational and so aspirational and so motivating to you, they're your expanders. Because guess what? You're simply seeing your unmet self within them.
Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast. Okay, I am sitting in so much inner peace and gratitude for my life, for the people in my life today. And this is definitely an unplanned podcast, but I recently got back. It's been about a week. So I went to the Powerhouse Women event, which is an event that is put on by Lindsey Schwartz and Hannah Wells and the Powerhouse team. And it was just so wonderful. It was so wonderful to be in the magic and the energy of so many women. There was about 400 women there. And so I've really just been sitting with all the guidance and all the messages and everything that I've received since then, and really what's meant for me. And today I want to share with you the idea of looking for expanders in your life. So as many of you know, I grew up in a small town in Oregon, and I was the expander oftentimes for many. I didn't have people around me that I was looking to see what that next level Carmen was, that next level of growth, that next level of opportunity within my business, within my spirit, within myself. And so at times it was challenging to push myself to try something new because I didn't have those people around me. Those people that are so motivating and inspirational and aspirational that actually push us into action. I like to call them expanders. And so what exactly is an expander? Well, it's a human being that you're around that enables you to recognize the aspects of yourself that you've yet to integrate into your life. And they're inviting you to grow into them. Like I said, there are those people you just get that hit, that energy thing that, wow, look at what they're doing. That's amazing. And you know, like for some reason, deep down inside, like if they're doing it, I can do it too. And guess what? Why does that happen? Because you're simply seeing your unmet self in them. And so in this episode, I want to give you some examples of 5 women that have been huge expanders for me in my own life, that have made such a difference in my life, that they've built confidence within me, that they've inspired me to take action in a particular area. And I'm going to invite you to connect with them as well. Of course, there's many ways that we can connect with people now, whether it's social media or an offering they have. But I hope that they can make a difference in your life and be an expander for you as well. I hope this whole podcast, I hope everything that I put out, each time I speak, each time I do a podcast, my hope for that is that you feel so seen, you're not alone, and that you take action on something in your life, that it's aspirational for you. So my hope is I'm an expander for you. And these women have been an expander for me. So I invite you to get in their proximity somehow and see how they might expand you as well. So the first woman that I want to talk about is a self-help book author, a coach, a speaker. She has been my go-to when I'm feeling off. I need to get a little bit more Gabby. And I'm talking about Gabby Bernstein. Many of you may know her or have heard of her, or maybe you are already in proximity to her and she's already expanding you. But I will tell you what, I was first introduced to her many years ago. I should have actually thought this through. So I think around like 2016, 17 by Lori Harder, who was actually an affiliate for Gabby's Spirit Junkie Masterclass. And Spirit Junkie Masterclass was one of the first times that I did a big investment in myself, where I was investing thousands of dollars in order to grow or improve or learn. And it was scary, but it was the best investment that I could have ever made. Gabby has, like I said, she's a self-help book author. She has this way about her, and why so many people, including myself, are drawn to her is that she invites you in. She invites you into her life and what she's working through. That's the premise of all of her talks, all of her books. Everything that she does is she's worked through it or is working through it. And now she's going to share it with you because she knows deep down that we are all more like the same than different. And if she went through it, more than likely you're going through it. And what she did and how she conquered it, conquered her fear, got over her limiting beliefs, healed through trauma, recognized trauma, started speaking, wrote her bestsellers, like all of the things, she shares it with you and takes you along on the journey. And she's just so fun and so true to herself. So like I said, she's written multiple books, from like her very first book, Add More Into Your Life, to her last book, which is called Happy Days. It's about healing trauma, unlearning fear, and remembering love. I will make sure and put a link for that book, her most latest book, in the show notes for you. So if you want to get into her proximity, that's going to be a great way to do it. Two of my favorite books, all-time favorite books that I've read multiple times, are The Universe Has Your Back, which I know we did in the book club in my permission slip community, and Super Attractor. Gabby teaches from A Course in Miracles, which is a metaphysical text, and from a lot of her other learnings, like I shared throughout her life. But I love her tagline. So if you hop over to her website, you can download, I think, some meditations and things like that. But her tagline is become the happiest person you know. Doesn't that just feel good? That feels really fucking good. So Gabby Bernstein. Then let's talk about Mrs. Lindsey Schwartz. So I had mentioned that Lindsey put on the Powerhouse Women event recently. She does this annually, and it is a place full of magic and high vibe energy. And Lindsey always says you're not meant to do business or life alone. I'm actually part of her high level mastermind this year, and it has been really life-changing for me. She helps entrepreneurs really monetize their big idea, even if they don't have a huge audience, even if you're not feeling qualified, because that's what she did. She's been able to grow this community to thousands and thousands. From people come all across, even from like other countries, to go to Powerhouse Women and be a part of their girl gang. And it's just so inspiring and so aspirational to see what she's built. Now, one of the things that I love about Lindsey is that every time I am in proximity to her, first of all, she is the most genuine, sincere person you've ever met. And she's super fun. But there's always synchronicities, miracles, and blessings and signs that come to me like guidance. Like it's just like showering down. anytime I am in proximity to her. And interestingly enough, especially with the powerhouse name, I always think like if you don't take action on the guidance or the dreams, the calling that's on your life, that it's going to be given to someone else. And when you're ready, you'll be given another one. Back in like 2015, I was creating an event called the Powerhouse Experience. Isn't that interesting? And I allowed fear to hold me back, and I didn't move forward with that idea, but then come full circle to being connected with Lindsey and being in the Powerhouse community and Powerhouse Mastermind and attending the event multiple years in a row has been really fun to see. Like, interesting. What a synchronicity. But it just goes to show that if she can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And really, that's what an expander is all about. They're inviting us to grow into those aspects of ourselves that we've yet to see or meet or integrate because it's there. And if they do it, like we could do it too. So if you want to, let's see, she just had her event, but you know what? She does have, actually, here's a way that you could go into proximity with her. First of all, you can follow her on Instagram, and everybody, I will put all the links for all the Instagram and all the businesses and all the things, how you can connect with everyone in the show notes and anything that I recommend, like Gabby's book. But Lindsey is doing a masterclass on monetizing your big idea. Now, I know this is something that I wish I had when I was first starting, because I wasn't ever making the type of money that I wanted, especially when I was still working and then like having my business as like a side hustle. Like I didn't feel like I had the confidence or the tools or the support or the community or the know-how of how to do that. And she has this really cool roadmap that she teaches and uses, and it's exactly what she did to build her success. So if you're a side hustler, a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you're just not exactly where you want to be in your business, she does have a 3-part masterclass upcoming that's free. I'll put the link in the show notes. It's going to be after the Labor Day holiday, 2022. So depending on when you're listening to this, this may or may not be applicable, but I think it starts like September 8th and it's like a 3-day thing, but you'll get so much from that. And it's going to make a huge difference in your business. So I highly, highly encourage you to sign up and check that out and get into proximity with Lindsey. Also, her, podcast is really, really great too. Again, all the things are going to be in the show notes. So especially if you're a female entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, side hustler, or all of the above. So the next person I want to talk about is someone that's really special. And she was one of the people that helped get me through last year. So last year, I had some old trauma come up. So when I was 25, I was diagnosed with MS, and I really pushed through. I didn't realize that I never really dealt with that. And last year, I started feeling very fatigued, tired. I started getting like a rash all over my body. I found some lumps in my breast. Like it was almost like I was manifesting being sick, because it was the first time that I had ever thought about like, wow, I wonder if I'm really fatigued and like, is this my MS? Because I hadn't really thought about it in years. And I really had to work through like getting back into my body and out of my head. And like somatic therapy and practices are just so important, as well as energetics. And this woman, she is a teacher, a guide, an intuitive, Reiki master. And I love, she says that her work is really to illuminate the healer within all of us. And she does that through certifications, experiences, retreats. And her name is Danielle Nicole. And she really helped me through last year. She doesn't know this, but it was so big to me, the support that she was able to give me. I signed up and I did Reiki level 1 and 2 attunements with her. And it was still during the pandemic, right? And so traveling Not a lot of people did that, but she was open to me. I wanted to be in person. I wanted to be in close proximity with her. And when you're around her, you can feel her energy. It's so true. It's so pure. It's so clear. It's so aligned. And it just creates so much calm and peace within your body. And I can't tell you how much our relationship and friendship means to me. And it's just really grown and developed this year. And she is so wonderful. For my private one-on-one clients, I'll often buy Reiki, distance Reiki packages for them. If you're in the Phoenix, Arizona area, you can go to one of her live events. I know she's hosting her next retreat in October. And if you're like, I'm not really sure about energy and Reiki and all of the things, a way you can get into proximity and start learning about that with Danielle is I'll put a link in the show notes, but she has a Reiki healing and a chakra alignment guide that's really meant to ease your anxiety and help you move through your emotions. And so if you're feeling any way like I felt last year, I just felt like I was seeking and searching. I just needed someone to tell me what was wrong with me. And I was perpetuating this idea of being sick in my head that just was not true. And I needed someone to help me like pull out of that and get back into my body and into my knowing. And Danielle's really helped me develop my intuitive gifts that were always there, that I just called like, I don't know, I'm just good with people. And anytime I feel knocked out of alignment, she's the one that I call, and we'll do like a distance Reiki session. So get into proximity with Danielle. You'll thank me later. I promise you. I promise. The next person I want to talk about is probably something you may have heard me say before. But one thing that I've been manifesting for the past handful of years, and I know that it will happen, it's just not going to happen on my timeline, but it will happen, is being in person and being able to cook with Rachael Ray. So I know many of you know who Rachael Ray is, and she always uses the tagline like yummo. And there's so many other things that I could quote that she says. But she has been so aspirational and inspirational for me. The first thing that she really moved me to do was to start cooking real meals for my family when my kids were little, with using real food and showing me that it's accessible to everyone, that you don't have to have fancy ingredients, that you can make meals within less than 30 minutes and it can be on the table and you can have a family dinner and you can connect through food so deeply. If any of you remember that show on the Food Network, 30-Minute Meals, seriously, it was my favorite. And she brought it back a few years ago, which was so cool to see. She's the author of so many cookbooks. Her latest cookbook, which I'll link, and it's a great way to get into proximity with her and learn a little bit more about her. But listen to this. During the pandemic, her dog, Isabu, I think Isabu is like 15, was like her baby, right? Died. Then their house burnt down. I mean, all of these things happened during that time frame. She started filming her Rachael Ray show from her home, from her like guest home or whatever, because her house burnt down. She wrote a book, and it's called This Must Be the Place. And it tells the story because she really wanted people to be connecting with whomever they could, their families at home, and food, and just sharing her story. And if you've ever seen her at anything other than like the Food Network or her show, you can see her heart, how much she cares for people. She has her Rachael Ray Foundation, where she gives back to kids and families and children to make sure that they're eating. She gives back to animal rescues. She's a big advocate for getting the industry back up and going, the restaurant industry, because they took a huge hit during the pandemic. And she is a champion of women, especially women in business and women in food and business. And it's just been so fun to watch her all these years and watch her journey. And I just knowing that it wasn't easy, and she shares her story and like how she started and how she's always been in food. And she just kept saying yes to the next thing, but always, always, always staying true to herself and her deepest priorities. That's one thing that I just love and respect so much about her, how true she is to herself and what's important to her, and not wavering from that. And one day, I am saying this now, again, I will be able to meet with her and cook with her and just be in proximity and be in her energy. And her energy, you can just see it. Like, even if you just see her on TV, that smile, that authenticity, it's just so freaking amazing. Okay. So that's on my dream board. Rachael Ray and I, it will happen. I know. So Gabby, Lindsey, Danielle, Rachael Ray. And the last person I want to talk about is actually another Rachael. This Rachael came into my life a few years ago, and just following her online and seeing her in person at women's empowerment events. And then last year, I was like, I'm just so connected to her. You know what? I really, really want to support her in what she's doing. And she has this event, and I'm going to bring somebody. I don't really know. I don't think the event's for me necessarily. I don't know what's going to be there for me, but I'm just going to stay open. And I just want to tell you what, that event that I went to last October in Georgia, it cracked me open so wide. This whole episode is holding back the tears. It cracked me open so wide. I didn't even know that I needed it. It strengthened my confidence, not logically, but like spiritually and intuitively, to know that I can do this and I can make so much money doing this and helping people and serving, as long as I'm being obedient, answering my calling and just going for it and letting go of the rest. I mean, it was so huge for me. It was really a pivotal moment, a breakthrough moment for me. And who I'm talking about, you probably already know, since I said that the event Confidence Activator. Maybe you don't, but her name is Rachel Luna. She is a master life coach. She's a journaling expert. She's a speaker. She's an experienced creator. But let me tell you what the difference is about Rachel and about her events. So her event, how you can get in proximity to Rachel, is her event is upcoming. So it's October 14th through 16th in my home state. So of course I will be there. And I'm not only going to be there because it's in my home state. I would go no matter what state or country she is going to be in. But it's October 14th through the 16th. And the thing about her is, her heart and her faith is so big, like it's big enough for all of us. And she is so fully present. She remembers you. She remembers the details. She makes every experience and every person feel seen and supported and special. And it is so exceptional. So exceptional. If you talk about like under promise and over deliver, I feel like she over promises and over delivers. Like what you get is so much more than what you paid for. And like I said, it's because her heart and her faith is so strong for all of us. I just chatted with her the other day. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to the venue. The venue looks amazing. It's a Gaylord. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to even just be there. But she was going there to just pray over the space and pray over everybody that was coming. And it's just, I'm so excited to just be in person with her and be at that event. And I'm just ready to be cracked open again. You know, every new level we get to, there's things that we need to work through and discover and let go of. And it's going to be such a great opportunity to do that. So I'll put all the conference details in the show notes. If you want to join me, please join me. If that sounds like something that you want to do, because it's really about having the confidence to make the money that you want in a spiritually aligned way. Like that's what I get from it. And seriously, after last the last event last year, I've doubled my business income this year and like quadrupled my inner peace, my inner knowing, my spirituality, my guide. Like it's just been so freaking amazing. So if you do really want to go to that event, Rachael gave me a code that I could give you. So shoot me a DM if you want to go. I'll give you the code. We'll go together. It'll be so fun. We'll be in proximity of each other. We can expand each other and then allow the room to just expand us. So that's it. So we've got Gabby Bernstein, Lindsey Schwartz, Danielle Nicole, Rachael Ray, and Rachel Luna. Those are some of my biggest expanders. And again, an expander is just you simply seeing your unmet self in them. They're allowing you to recognize those unmet parts of yourself that you haven't integrated yet. And they're inviting you to start the integration process and tune in and grow into them. But you're never going to be able to do that if you don't get into proximity with expanders. And it's probably not your sister or your best friend from kindergarten or your neighbor down the street. You're probably going to have to get out of your environment, but that's going to be the absolute best thing for you. So here's to expanding together, because there's still time left. There's still a few months left in 2022. And as the seasons are changing, what a great time to reflect and reset. So thank you so much for listening, and grab all the details in the show notes. Get into proximity of Gabby and Lindsey and both the Rachels and Danielle, and come with me to Rachel's event. Grab one of Gabby's books. Join that masterclass to monetize your big idea with Lindsey. Get Danielle's Reiki and alignment guide to get rid of that anxiety that you're having. And buy one of Rachael Ray's cookbooks. You get one of those old ones I talked to you about, the 30-minute meals, right? That'd be super fun. I'm going to have to dig that up, see if I can find it. Okay, as always, I am so thankful for you listening to this podcast. And it would just be such a huge blessing to me if you would share this with someone you know would love this episode. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.